Hello everyone, my name is Leonardo Gomez. I'm an analytics specialist here at AWS, based out of Toronto, Canada, and today we are going to talk about how to simplify and fast-track ETL modernization with AWS Glue. Thank you for joining us. Every single company needs a strategy in order to put their data to work. The idea is to make better decisions, respond faster, improve efficiencies, and uncover opportunities. The data is already out there, so we need to find ways to capture or ingest that data and also get value from it. Customers want more value from their data. Why is this? Because every single day we are ingesting more data from new sources. 15 years ago, our main source were relational databases. Now we have APIs, we have logs, we have videos, we have recordings, and so on. Also, that increased the diversity of our data sources, as I mentioned before. Another thing that is important now is that we have more personas to interact with the data. Now we have data science, data engineers, data analysts, and so on. And we need to provide them with the right tool for the right use case. Okay? And also, our data could be analyzed by many applications for different use cases. For example, we can do forecasting on top of our data, historical analysis, sentiment analysis, and so on. So if you see, the number of use cases on top of our data has grown in the last 10 years. Now we have more demanding workloads. We have batch or real-time. Batch jobs or batch workloads, they cover use cases such as data warehousing, business intelligence, or reporting. Okay, so they could be latency agnostic, okay, or they could be long-running jobs. And you can run them, for example, once per night or once per hour, depending on your use case. Okay. Now, the other modality or the other type of workloads that we have is real-time. Okay, so the most common use cases for this this type of workloads are responsive dashboards, real-time dashboards, monitor and alert. So, for example, if you want to detect anomalies, okay, in real time, or streaming applications. Okay, so for example, if you want to transform the data in real time, this is the right type of workload for you. It requires continuous operation because you need to have your jobs running 24/7 in order to process your data. And they are low latency, of course, and they run in micro batches. Okay, so you can have a real-time job running every 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. It depends on the latency that you can stand, okay, or that you can support. So traditional ETLs are not scalable, okay? Why is this? Because they don't offer scalable infrastructure. So if you want to scale up your current or your traditional ETL platform, you have to buy the servers, install the servers, configure the server. The same with the software itself. You have to go, install it, and then configure that software. So in some cases, that may take days. In some other cases, it could take months, okay? Also, they could be costly, okay? Because some legacy or some traditional solutions, they charge you by feature. So if you want to use the data catalog, you're going to pay a specific amount of money for that functionality. If you want to use the ETL part, you have to pay a different price, okay? Another thing is that you can be logged in. Why is this? Because some traditional ETL tools, they produce their own language or their own code, okay? So if you want to move those ETL jobs to an open source solution, to give you an example, open source based solution, you need to recode all your ETL jobs, and that could take a lot of time, okay? And some of the legacy or traditional solutions, they lack of data integration tools for all users, okay? So what we mean by this is that If you are a ETL developer or a data engineer, you may find the right UI for you or the right tools for you. But if you are a data analyst or business analyst that wants to manipulate the data, you may not find the proper UI for you. Okay, and that is going to affect your customer experience. So now let's talk about AWS Glue. So AWS Glue is our data integration service. It covers different use cases. It offers data catalog, it offers the ETL part, and so on. Okay, it's cost effective because it's serverless. So what this means is that you're going to pay just for the duration of the job. Okay, you are not going to pay for something that you are not using. And not only that, Glue is scalable. So you can scale up or down depending on your use case. Okay. So it was created also to support the different personas that may interact with the data. So to give you an example, if you only know how to code in SQL, you can use AWS Glue. If you know very well how to code in Python or Spark, you can also do it. And actually, if you don't know how to code at all, you can use Glue Studio and use a UI in order to create your Glue jobs. Okay. Another thing is that you are going to have all the workloads in a single place. If you remember, as I mentioned before, we have real-time or batch jobs or batch workloads. So both of them can be covered by AWS Glue, and everything is going to be in a single UI. Now let's talk about AWS Glue key capabilities. Okay, so we offer a scalable data integration engine. As I mentioned before, you can scale up or down your jobs depending on the nature of them. Okay. Also, we offer built-in transforms. Okay, so they can help you to speed up your ETL creation process because the most common transforms we offer it out of the box. Okay. Also, we give you the option to monitor your jobs. So we offer a centralized UI in which you can go and you can see the execution of all your ETL jobs, and you can go and see the details about every single execution. Okay. Also, we offer a centralized and unified data governance experience. So we offer the Glue catalog that is going to allow you to organize and distribute your data based on databases, tables, columns, and so on. Also, we have the Glue crawlers that helps you to detect and infer the schema that is coming from your data lake files. Okay, it's going to create a logical schema on top of a specific file. And we have lake formation that helps you to implement security on top of your data lake. Okay. From the connect and ingest data point of view, we offer Glue connectors. Okay, we offer connectors out of the box that you can use in order to connect to your data sources. Also, we offer the Glue connector marketplace in which you can use native AWS connectors, and also you can use third-party vendors connectors. Okay, so if you have a use case in which you need to consume data from a source that is not related to AWS, to give you an example, there is the right place for you to go and see if we support that integration. Okay. Another thing is that we offer a user a persona-specific tool or persona-specific experience. So if you are a data analyst, if you are a data engineer, and so on, you're going to find your place on AWS Glue. Okay, because we offer different experience depending on your level of technical knowledge and the way that you interact with your data. Okay, so as you see, we cover different aspects of the data integration world. Okay, so I think that you can find the right combination of features to cover your use case. Okay, so how our customers are using AWS Glue? Okay, they use it to execute modern data strategies. For example, data lakes, data fabrics, or data mesh for scalable data analysis. Okay, so they use it to migrate from expensive or traditional ETL solutions and to reduce costs, and also to be able to use open source technologies. Okay, They use it also to catalog data assets to make them available across a modern data architecture or data mesh. Okay. Also, they use it to process petabyte of data in batch streaming and real time using, as I mentioned before, open source technologies like Python or Apache Spark. And lastly, they use AWS Glue to prepare data for analysis or machine learning. So if you see, they use our customer use Glue for different reasons, but all of them are amazing reasons. Okay, so let's talk about the persona-based experience that AWS Glue offers. Okay, so we have different personas here. We have ETL developers, we have business analysts and data science, and also we have data engineers. Okay, so for ETL developers, we offer AWS Glue Studio. Okay, Glue Studio is a rich visual interface, okay, that offers more than 250 built-in transforms that you can use in order to create ETL jobs on top of large volume of data. Okay, so if you're a business analyst or a data science and you are more focused on data preparation, you can use AWS Glue Data Brew. Okay, it offers a great UI that you can use for your data preparation jobs. It also offers data quality, offers data lineage, identification of sensitive data, and so on. Okay, and if you are a data engineer, okay, and you want to have a notebook-based experience, you can use AWS Glue interactive sessions. Okay, so if for those who are familiar with Jupyter notebooks, this is a very similar experience that you can use a notebook, but with all the Glue libraries as part of it. Okay, so as you see, it doesn't matter your role, it doesn't matter your level of expertise. You can use the different combinations of AWS Glue in order to cover your needs. Now I'm going to show you a demo how the persona-based experience on AWS Glue looks like. Okay, so this is the Glue Studio console. Okay, so in order to create a job, let's go and select here jobs. Okay, so here you can see different options to create a job. So we have a visual with a blank canvas. Okay, this is going to give you access to the visual interface. We're going to see that in a minute. You can use the Spark script editor or the Python shell script editor in case that you already have the code and you want Glue just to execute your code. Or if you want to create your Glue jobs using a Jupyter notebook, you can also do it. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through these three options. Okay, visual with a blank canvas, a Spark script editor, and Jupyter notebook. Okay, with that, we're going to cover three different personas: data engineer, data analyst, and ETL engineer, to give an example. Okay, so let's start with the visual interface. So for that, let me select here this option, and then I'm going to select create. Perfect. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to add the name of the job. I'm going to put here data analyst job, to give you an example. Okay, I'm going to select the role that we're going to use in order to execute and create this job. So now let's go back to the visual interface. Okay, so as you see here, we have sources, transforms, and target. Okay, so sources, you can see the list of all the sources that we support. Okay, from S3 to streaming or relational databases. And actually, if you use custom connectors or the connector marketplace, you are going to see here even more sources. Okay, so for this example, we are going to use AWS Glue data catalog. Okay, very simple example. I'm going to select the database, one that I previously created for this demo, and then I'm going to select a table. Okay, so here you have the option to see the schema. Okay. That you're using as a source, and if you want to preview the data, the only thing that you have to do is click here. Okay, data preview, start the preview session, select the role. Okay, in this case I already selected, and click confirm. Okay, so if you see here, we are going to, in this part, Glue is retrieving the data in order to offer you a preview of it. So this is going to take 30 seconds. Let's wait and see. Perfect. So as you can see here, we have a preview of the data. So right now we're previewing just 5 columns, but you can change it and add more if you want to. So perfect. Let's transform the data a little. Okay, so for that, here you have the list of the different transforms that Glue Studio offer. Okay, so you can apply mappings, you can select fields, you can filter, you can join, and so on. For this, I'm going to use a very special transform, in this case SQL. So imagine that you are a data analyst and you only know how to code in SQL. That's fine, no problem at all. So you are going to select the transform. Okay, and here you have the table, in this case the input, that is the previous source. And now here you have the option to add your query. Okay, so if you see, very standard, okay, very SQL standard. So in this case, I'm going to add the this condition, okay, where a ticket day is equal to this day, okay, no more than that. And then, okay, so here you can add whatever transformation you want using SQL, for example, or you can use any of the other transforms that we have available. Okay, so imagine that this is it. This is all the transformation that you're going to execute on top of your data. So let's add a destination. In this case, we can select target, and we have different destinations: S3, Redshift, relational databases, and so on. I selected S3. Okay, again, simple example. I can put here Parquet. Okay, and then I'm going to add here the destination. Okay, so for that, I'm going to add one of my S3 locations, as you can see here. Okay, and then I'm going to save my job. Okay, perfect. So as you see here, even though I use the UI, I didn't code at all. Well, just the SQL part. Under the hood, Glue is going to create all this PySpark code for you. Okay, so just to let you know that even though that you're using the UI, under the hood, we are generating the PySpark code for you. So in this case, this is how a data analyst can interact with the data just using SQL. Now, imagine that you already have your code, okay, and you want only Glue to execute it. Okay, that's it, just execution. So for that, we go back here to jobs. We select this option, Spark Script Editor. Okay, you can do it with PySpark or Scala, or if you want just Python, you can do it here. Okay, for this example, I'm going to do it just with PySpark. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click Create. So if you see, I don't have the Visual Canvas, the Visual UI enabled. So in this case, I have a script with all the libraries that you need to start. I'm going to remove it because the code that I'm going to put here already has it. Okay. I'm going to change the name of my job. I'm going to put here Data Engineer Job, just to give an example. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste a code that I already created for this demo. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to add here the role that I'm going to use in order to execute the job. Okay, and then save. After that, you are able to run your job without any problems. Okay, so if you see again, if you already have a PySpark, a Scala, or Python code, and you want Glue to execute it, this is the way to do it. Okay, perfect. Now, let's see the last persona. In this case, could be the ETL engineer that likes to create their ETL jobs using a notebook. So for that, I'm going to select this option, Jupyter Notebook. I'm going to click Create. I have to put here the name of the job, ETL engineer job. Okay, just to give you an example. And again, the role that I'm going to use to execute the job. After that, I click here, Start Notebook Job. This is going to take 1 minute or even less. Let's wait. Okay, so now we have our notebook. Okay, so these are all the magics that we have available in order to interact with our notebook. Okay, and here you have the code. So again, I'm going to remove this because the code that I'm going to paste already has all those libraries. Okay, and you can develop your jobs and you can try cell by cell if you want to. So yeah, very this offer a notebook experience. Okay, for those who are already familiar with Jupyter notebooks, but in this case, the notebook itself is part of the Glue UI. In this case, the Glue Studio UI. Perfect. So that's it. Okay, you can run every cell if you want to. In this case, I'm not going to do it. I'm going just to save the job. And that's it, folks. As you see, it doesn't matter if you're a data analyst, a data engineer, or ETL engineer, you are going to find the right part of the UI for you, for your use case. Thank you. Perfect. So now let's talk about the different type of workloads that you can cover with AWS Glue. So as I mentioned before, we have streaming and batch processing, okay? But also we have event processing. Let me walk you through these three options, okay? So streaming processing, as I mentioned before, real-time data processing, okay? And AWS Glue integrates with Amazon MSK, our managed Kafka service. Also, it integrates with Amazon Kinesis, okay? Our streaming native service. And also Apache Kafka. So if you see, the most common streaming sources are covered by AWS Glue as a source, okay? So also for batch processing, okay, you can combine, enrich, and transform data using Glue Studio, as you saw it before. And event processing, okay, allows you to react depending on an event. If something happened to your data, to give you an example, if you have a new file on S3, you can trigger a Glue job based on that event. Or if your schema changed, you can also trigger an event or a Glue job based on that. So if you see, it doesn't matter the nature of your workload, Glue can cover it. Perfect. So now let's talk about the flexibility that AWS Glue offers. Okay, so predicting capacity is difficult. Why is this? Because the volume of your data may change. So the data that you process today may be more or maybe less tomorrow, okay? And you need to prepare for that. Also, you need to monitor and tune your jobs in order to identify the right number of resources that you need. And this is a time-consuming task, okay? And we tend to over-provision in order to protect our jobs. Okay, what I mean by this is that we can set up a high number of DPUs just in case. Technically speaking, this approach works, but the problem with that is maybe we're going to end up paying for resources that we may not use. Okay, so for that, we release a Glue auto scaling. Okay, so how this work? You are going to set up a limit of the number of DPUs or resources that you want to have as part of your job. And based on that limit, we are going to scale up or down the number of DPUs depending on the task of your job. So if as part of the same job, you can have a task that is going to consume 2-3 DPUs, to give an example, but also you can have another task that is going to consume 10. So depending on the resources that your job needs, we're going to scale up or down the number of DPUs. And with that, we're going to help you to save cost. Again, because you don't need to guess capacity anymore. Perfect. So now let's talk about a very important topic, cost options. Okay. So we release a new execution option for AWS Glue. Okay. The name of that is Glue Flex. Okay, Glue Flex in a nutshell use spare capacity, okay, not a dedicated EC2 instance to run your ETL jobs. Okay, so this is an amazing fit for testing, for development, or for those jobs that you don't care if you have to retry them. But if you use this new option, you're going to be able to reduce the cost up to 35%. Okay, again, if you are developing jobs and you want to test them, this is a very good option for you. Okay, perfect. Now let's talk about streaming jobs. Okay, they can be costly. Why? Because in some cases we may need to have the ETL job up and running 24/7 in order to process the real-time data. That's why we released a new instance type, in this case the G0.25x, that it costs a fraction of the cost of a regular instance. Okay, in this case the G1x. So what are the use cases that we can cover with this new instance type? For example, low volume data processing, like change data capture. Okay. For medium to large data stream processing, we still offer the G1x, okay? And for those workloads that require a high volume of data, okay, we offer the G2x instance. So if you see, it doesn't matter the volume of data or the complexity of your job itself, we can offer an option for you. One of the things that I like the most about Glue is that it's open source based. Okay, you can use Spark. It could be using PySpark or Scala in order to create your ETL jobs. Or even if you want to use Python, you can do it. If you're using, for example, Glue Studio, okay, the visual UI in order to create your ETL jobs, under the hood, Glue Studio is going to generate a PySpark or Scala code. Okay, so in that case, if tomorrow you need to move your workload to a different platform, to give you an example, you can do it because it's based on open source standards. Okay, Glue also offers integration. Okay, so you have different ways to connect to your data sources or data destination in this case. So you have built-in connectors that we offer out of the box. Okay, and you can use to connect to sources like S3, Redshift, and so on. Okay, also, if we don't offer that connector out of the box, you can create your custom connectors. Okay, you can bring your own JDBCs and create your custom connector. Okay, and also we have we offer the marketplace. Okay, so in which we offer connectors created by AWS and also by third-party vendors. So if you see, with this combination, you're going to be able to connect to an important number of different sources. For example, Salesforce, Snowflake, BigQuery, when we're talking about third-party vendors, or Redshift, S3, Athena, and so on, when we're talking about AWS native services. So if you see, it doesn't matter if your use case requires to have a good diversity of data sources. Thanks to this combination of built-in connectors, custom connectors, and the connector marketplace, you're going to be able to cover it. Data privacy is a key component of every single data lake. Glue helps you to identify and protect sensitive data thanks to the new AWS Glue sensitive data detection and processing feature. With 3 simple steps, you are going to be able to identify and protect your sensitive data. The first step is to identify the type of scan that you want to use. We offer 2 right now, column-based scan or row-based scan. Once you select that, you can select the entities that you want to identify. Okay, so What we mean by entities are social security number, passport, phone number, account number, and so on. If the entities that we offer out of the box it cannot cover your use case, you have the option to create your custom entities. These custom entities are based on regular expression, but it allows you to create custom entities to cover your use case. Okay. Then you can select an action. You can store the result. Okay. You can create a new column that is going to tell you if a specific row has a PII data or not, or sensitive data or not. Or also you can select the option of redacting the data. So changing the sensitive information by using replacing that sensitive information using a special character, for example. Okay. So how this work? This is a Glue Studio UI. So if you see, the PII detection is another transform. So the first thing that you have to do is select the type of scan that you want to have, row or column, as I mentioned before. Then you are going to select the entities that you want to detect. And after that, you are going to select the action that you want to take. Okay, so you want, in this case, for this specific example, we are selecting to redact the information or replace the information with a special character. Okay, so let me show you how this works with a quick demo. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is go to the Glue Studio console. Okay, then select jobs. Here you can see the different ways that you have to create ETL jobs. In this case, we're going to select visual with blank canvas. Okay, I'm going to select create. Then I'm going to add the name of the job. In this case, it's going to be this one. Okay. Sorry about that. Then let's go to job details. Let's select the role. I already created a role for this demo. We're going to leave everything here as it. We're going to disable bookmarking. We don't need it. And I'm going to set the number of retries to 0. I hope that we don't need it. And after that, I'm going to select save. Perfect. So let's go to visual again, and let's select the source. In this case, you have the list of all the sources that Glue supports. All of them works with the sensitive data identification feature. For this demo, we are going to use Amazon S3. Okay, so we are going to select an S3 location. In this case, I'm going to select this location. Give me a second. Okay, this file. And let's go and invert the schema. As you can see, it's a CSV file, as I mentioned before. And now let's see how the data looks like. Okay, for that, I'm going to use the data preview feature from Glue. Okay, let me click here. I'm going to select the same role that I selected before. And then this is going to take 1 minute. So let's wait and see how the data looks like. Perfect. So as you can see here, we have some sensitive data. For example, social security number, this one here. We have a phone number, we have an email, we have an IP address, and so on. Okay. So let's go and let's redact this sensitive data. For that, I'm going to select transform. In this case, detect PII. As you can see here, I have two options. Okay, we can identify data row by row or by column. Okay, so for this specific demo, let's do it by row. So here in this second section, you have the list of entities that are available for us to identify sensitive data. Okay, and the last one, we have actions. The actions that we're going to take on top of the ones we identify sensitive data. Okay, so first let's go and see and explore the entities that comes out of the box with Glue, with this transform. Okay, so let's click browse. And here you can see right now we have 17. Okay, we are working on adding more. And we have a very common ones like credit card, and let's select it. Email address, IP address. Okay, if we go to the second page, you can see person name, social security number, driving license, passport, US phone, and bank account. Okay, so if you see with bank account, we have 9 entities or 9 patterns selected. So I'm going to confirm. Okay, and now I'm going to select an action. In this case, we have 2. Okay, you can enrich data with detection results. In a nutshell, this option is going to add a new column and it's going to tell you the entities that were detected or the patterns that were detected in that specific row. Or you can select the option to redact the text. Okay, replace the text. So in this case, I'm going to select this option and I'm going to add this custom character to replace the sensitive data. Once I have everything configured, I can go to data preview. And as you can see here, almost everything is redacted. Okay, why almost everything? Because this number that is related to the permanent resident number from Canada is not redacted. Why is that? Because it's not part of the entities that comes out of the box. So how can we solve this? Very easy. Let's go back to transform. Okay. In this case, we're going to create a new pattern. Okay. In this case, again, it's going to be a custom pattern because it's one that we are creating. I'm going to put here the name. Perfect. And I'm going to add a regular expression. Okay, we use regular expressions to evaluate a specific pattern. Okay, to identify sensitive data. In this case, I'm going to add this expression that I already create, and you can validate it. You click here, and you can see that everything is okay. You have a second option. Okay, you have another option. Sorry, that you can add a context words. These words help Glue to identify your pattern in a more detailed way, or a more precise way. Okay, so for example, following this same example that we are doing right now, we can put here Canada permanent resident number. So when Glue is evaluating your data, it's going to use those words to identify if the pattern that you are applying is the right one. Okay. So for this demo, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to remove this word. Okay, and we're going to click here, remove pattern. Create pattern. Amazing. We have it here. You can see it. Now let's go back to Glue Studio. Let's go and click again, browse. And now, as you can see here, we have Canada PR number as the first entity or the first pattern. But the difference here is that the category is custom. Okay, so let's select it. Let's click confirm. Okay, if I go back to data preview, this is going to show that the entity that was not, or the number that was not redacted before, now is redacted. Why? Because we use a custom transform. Okay, so is this simple? Okay. So after this, you can, one option that you have is dump or move the data to the destination. In this case, again, you can see here all the destinations that are supported by Glue. In this case, I'm going to select S3. Okay, very simple option. In this case, I'm going to select Parquet. Why not? Snappy. Why not? Also. And I'm going to select the destination in which I want to put my data. Okay, I'm going to select this one, output, and I'm going to select output is okay. I'm going to select output here. And I'm going to add a new folder. In this case, it's going to be comments, redacted. Okay. I'm going to add here the option to create a new table. Okay, a Glue table in this case. I'm going to select this database that I already previously created for this demo. And I'm going to add here comments redacted. Okay, perfect. I think that we have everything that we need. I'm going to save it. Okay, and now I'm going to run it. So as you can see here, this is the execution of the job. Okay, it's going to take 1 minute, 1.5 minutes in order to run. So let's wait and see how the data looks like. Okay, so in this case, the job is done. It took 1 minute, 1 minute in order to finish. That's fine. So now let's see how the data looks like in Athena. So let's go to Athena console. Okay, now we have two tables, the comment redacted table and the employees. So let's go here and see and preview the table. Okay, I'm going to change this, and I'm going to add 11 because I want to show you something. And as you can see here, the data is redacted. So very simple, easy to use. Perfect. Now let's talk about operations. Okay, so if you have 3 Glue jobs, okay, just 3 or 10, it's not going to be that difficult to keep track of the execution of those jobs. But what happens if you have thousands of jobs, for example? So Glue offers different ways to help you to run operations on top of your ETL jobs. Okay, so for example, if you want to organize your jobs or you want to link or match jobs together depending on the use case, you can use Glue workflows that in a nutshell allows you to orchestrate Glue jobs. Okay, also you have the Glue APIs. So if you want to have your Glue jobs, you want to execute your jobs in an automated way, okay, using code, you can use the Glue APIs. And also, if you want to monitor and see what is happening with your account Glue jobs, you have the monitoring UI in which you can go and see the execution of every single job, and also you are going to have the chance to see the details about every specific run. Okay, so if you see, Glue also offers options to make your operations on top of your ETL job easier. As I mentioned before, we have Glue workflows. Okay, this is very useful if you need to have different jobs as part of the same pipeline. Okay, so you have the option to split up the logic of your pipeline in different jobs. So in that way, if you want to have different configurations depending on the stage or depending on the phase of your workflow, you can do it because, as I mentioned before, you can separate the different stages of your job of your pipeline in different jobs. Okay, actually you can apply some logic. If a specific job fail, you can execute a specific action and so on. So in a nutshell, Glue workflows allows you to orchestrate the execution of your Glue jobs. Here you have you can see an example of the monitoring UI. So here you can see all the jobs that you ran, in this case 347, the ones that are currently running, the ones that were canceled, the ones that were successful, and the ones that failed. So if you see, you can see, as I mentioned before, an overall view of every single job that is being executed inside your account. Okay. Now let's talk about ETL modernization, specifically the ETL modernization program. Okay, so this program was created to help you to modernize legacy ETL workloads and reduce the data integration costs by migrating to AWS Glue. And of course, it's going to help you also to accelerate your migration because you are going to get the support that you need in order to do it. What are the benefits of this program? Okay, so we offer the help of a partner that is going to analyze your workloads and is going to do a POC, okay, up to 5 ETL jobs in order to show you how your migration is going to look like, okay? Also, we offer a no cost, again, ETL workload analysis and total cost of ownership, okay? We offer, as part of the outcome of this POC, a high-level architecture and roadmap for migration. If you decide to go with this specific, with one of our partners, for example, we can help you with funding, okay? We can show you the funding options that we offer, okay, in order to help you with the money related, with the cost related part, okay? We're going to support you through the entire migration, or the partner is going to support you during the entire migration. And in some cases, for example, if your current ETL jobs are based on Informatica or Talent, for example, we offer automated tools in order to help you with the migration. Okay, so now this is how the ETL migration program looks like. Okay, so it has different stages. In this case are discovery, assessment, mobilize, and modernize. Every single one of them, they have its own activities. Okay, so for example, workshop for discovery, the initial assessment on the assessment phase, of course. For in the mobilize phase, we offer the migration plan as one of the activities. And then when we talk about modernize is when we migrate the ETL jobs. Also, you can see here the list of the partners that are working with us right now in order to help you to migrate your ETL jobs or your workloads. And also, you can see here the names of the toolings or the ISV that are providing us with tools or in order to help you to migrate your ETL jobs. If you see, as I mentioned before, you have the support from the partners, you have the support from us, from the technical point of view, and also from the cost point of view. Okay, perfect. So with this, we conclude today's presentation. So as you can see, Glue can help you. It doesn't matter the kind of persona that you are. If you're a data analyst or data engineer, you're going to find the right combination of features in order to cover your use case. Also, from the cost point of view, Glue is going to help you to reduce costs because it's a serverless service. So you're going to pay just for what you use, okay? You don't need to pay for something that you are not using. From the data privacy point of view, using the new sensitive identification feature, you're going to be able to enforce data privacy at the ingestion time, okay? And this is very powerful because your data lake is going to be protected even before the data lands S3, okay, to give you an example. So if you need help with the migration of your existing ETL jobs, remember that we have the ETL Modernization program, and we're going to support you from the very beginning of your journey until you go into production. Okay, so if you can see, we can help you and support you end to end. So once again, thank you for joining us today. I hope that you like this session and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.